Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Ra Hokum. This is a video about Daniel Dubois, who had a fantastic victory over Anthony Joshua last Saturday at Wembley Stadium. I'm sure many people who are watching this video have saw the fight, or perhaps even there. There were 98,000 people there, of course. Ra, good to be joined by you as always. Want to speak to you about not necessarily what's next for Daniel Dubois, but he looked very impressive on Saturday against AJ. And who can beat this guy? Like he's still a young heavyweight, but he's been around for a while. He's got the two stoppage losses on his record to Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk. But now, look, he's a legitimate world champion, regardless of what anyone says. He's destroyed Anthony Joshua, if we're being honest. And I want to know how you think he would fare against other heavyweight contenders. We'll start with a nice, easy one. Tyson Fury, who was there on Saturday night.
Mhm.
Tyson Fury obviously has a massive rematch against Alexander Usyk, December 21st. Fury, a lot of people think he is possibly past his best now. Lost for the first time back in May against Usyk. Dubois against Fury, Ra. If that fight was to happen, what would your thoughts on that one be?
At this point in his career, I think Dubois would win and would knock Fury out in devastating fashion. Again, that's not hating on Fury or being critical of him, but he is greatly diminished physically. He has to be at 36, um, having suffered probably several bad concussions against Deontay Wilder, not to mention the numerous quite extreme weight cuts he's had to do. The punishment he's taken against Usyk, and likely the punishment he's going to take again against Usyk, whether win or lose. I think even if he does beat Usyk in the process, he'll rack up even more miles on his clock because Usyk does that to you. So if they were to fight at some point next year, I think Daniel, being young, fresh, durable as we saw against AJ,
Yeah.
and now with most importantly the right mindset. So long as his dad's in his corner, um, he's got the right mindset to sort of walk through walls and keep trying to land his big blows. I think Fury at his best would have had the skill set, the nous to sort of outmaneuver Daniel all night. But I think by the time they fight, Fury's mind will know what to do, and his body won't be able to keep up, and he won't stay out of the way all night of Daniel's big punches.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I won't touch on the Fury fight too much just because I think a lot of things would have to happen for that fight to take place, in my opinion. And look, Fury, we've got another 3 months until the rematch against Usyk, so won't focus too much on that, but you never know. Zhilei Zhang came up with a video shortly after the fight on Saturday. He was actually was one of the few people to predict Dubois to win on Saturday. Thoughts on that fight, Ra? It's got to be a possibility for 2025 or onwards. Zhang now 41 years old, I believe. Can't have got to think
Yeah,
can't have too many years left, but two massive men. Thoughts on that fight as a possibility?
great fight, superb fight. But again, I go back to the way Daniel was able to take AJ's big right hand and was barely troubled. And in fact, the knockout came about on Saturday as a result of him simply backing off. But his mind was as were clear enough to see how open Joshua was leaving himself, and that's immediately after having ate a right hand from AJ. And because of that, I think Daniel's punch resistance is good enough that even though someone like Zhang has the technical ability to maybe land on him, I don't think he'll take him out. And again, like I said, even if he was hurt or dropped with his dad in the corner, yelling instructions, telling him what to do, I think he would get through any rough moments. And the critical thing with Zhang, as we know, is get past the first half of the fight, and then when he fades, someone like Daniel, who we've seen is still strong late into the fight. I think he would start to nail him with his own big blows and stop him.
Look, big statement. Zhang, look, as we've seen, extremely dangerous fighter, but has his weaknesses in regards to his endurance that you mentioned. And I think although Zhang perhaps hasn't been in too many wars, you've got to consider his age at some point, I think. Final one, Ra, we're not going to kind of rule off the whole heavyweight division, but another guy who had a very impressive performance last month, stoppage win, just the one loss in his record, Martin Bakole.
Hmm.
Arguably the most exciting fight that we're going to discuss, maybe not. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll hand the mic back over to you. Martin Bakole, Daniel Dubois.
I'd concur with you on that. That would be a hell of a fight. We know Martin's manager, Billy Nelson. He never stops telling us how good Martin is and how handily he's dealt with everyone in sparring, including Daniel. Um, I think Martin Bakole's got the physical tools to maybe be the one that Daniel can't get past. He takes a tremendous shot, and his own punching is so hard and so varied, so effortless, as we saw against Jared Anderson. I think he'd be the one that maybe would beat Daniel. I think he would probably eat the best shots Daniel can mete out and get the better of exchanges. Like I said, it wouldn't go as far as I think he could knock Daniel out. Um, but I think he would sort of start to control the fight once he's sort of worked the range of Daniel's exceptional jab out, um, and then take control of the fight and get land the more telling blows more
Mm,
often to maybe win it on points. But I think it'd be a hell of a fight, be action packed, and it will be two big punchers landing all night. So it'd be
yeah.
it'd be punishing, but exciting. But yeah, I think Bakole, he's probably stylistically the guy that I think would beat Daniel.
Fantastic. Big statements. All right. Well, look, as always, you want to see these fights happen. You don't want to kind of be talking them about as kind of fantasy fights. And I don't want to be here with you in 10 years saying, oh, what do you think would have happened? Because that's a debate that could never end. Ra, good to speak with you. With Dubois, look, we'll see if this Joshua rematch happens. But if it doesn't, look, I almost hope it doesn't because I think there are some really fantastic heavyweight fights that we could see him in end of this year or in 2025. Ra, good to be joined by you as always. I'll speak to you again very, very soon.